View News Network. View News Network. View News Network. Your authentic source of information you can use. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all other social media platforms for authentic information as we add value to humanity through information dissemination. Don't miss out.
We are good now. We're on.
Again, we are here with Honorable Council ZUBAH. Honorable ZUBAH, we got a lot of questions to dive into tonight, and to help our audience understand driving safety within the Republic of Liberia. And we're glad that you have experience, international experience in driving outside of Liberia and within Liberia. Honorable ZUBAH, as we sit here today, there are a lot of things that run through the ordinary minds of the Liberian people. We're talking about the current circumstance that they face in the country. But one of the biggest things that is running through our mind at home and abroad is the consistent accident that is happening, destroying lives and property in the Republic of Liberia. It is concerning because we are losing our people. We are losing innocent citizens in that. In fact, according to the Public Safety Division of Liberia National Police, the month of September alone, in 2024, they had reported 157 deaths in Liberia. Accident cases in Liberia.
That was one.
Yeah, the death was 23. Yeah, 700. Thank you for correction. 153 cases, and we have
cases to code.
So, come on again.
They said 6 out of 157. They resolved almost 60 some more and sent 6 cases to court.
All right, so that's what I want to be talking about. It's concerning, and in those reports they said they have only 23 deaths and they have 144 injuries, people who were injured, and they had 249 vehicles involved in the accident just in 1 month in Liberia. This is not just a high number, but it also reflects the crisis that our people face in Liberia. What do you make of this report, and what you think can be done to reduce such a high number?
Thank you very much for the question, and this is how I'm going to begin to answer this question. The first thing, in Liberia, as compared to the West or other countries, specifically in Liberia, it is difficult to drive in Liberia because most of the operator of vehicle don't have driving experience. They didn't go to driving school. Some of them only learn how to drive when they were cowboys. Some of them learn how to drive when they were in the mechanic shop. Some of them learn how to drive when they were doing some repair work somewhere. And then they learn how to drive without going to a formal driving school or formal driving education. So that's one aspect of it. There. The second aspect, we have a law here that requires that in order to operate a vehicle, you must have lessons. Almost 40%, because now the number reducing, 40% of those operating vehicles don't have driver lessons. And in order to operate, you must have lessons because the lesson is the authority giving you to be able to operate a vehicle or motor vehicle. They don't have that. The rules, there are rules of the road. If you don't understand the rules of the road, you're going to violate the rules of the road. That's another problem we got in the country. Another issue we got in the road, because there is something about the road, because if you want to construct road, you got to take into consideration three things. And the 3 things, to make it easier, I'll just tell you, is the 3 E's is the E. Number 1 is the engineering of the road. The way in which you construct the road can make the road to be good for driving, and it can cause accident to the construction of the road, the engineering of the road. For example, between Monrovia and Roberts Creek, currently the road is ongoing. They are changing the lane from 2 lane to 4 lane. There's a construction on the road. If you don't understand the road, you don't know how the road looking there, and you want to speed over on the road, you're going to have accident. Specifically, Monrovia, Kakata, between Monrovia and Kakata, there are series of curves. And that came up because of the way they constructed the road. So I talk about engineering of the road. The second aspect is that when you construct a road, you must educate the people on how to use the road and where there are speed breakers. For example, along the Monrovia Ralphie Highway currently, the road is ongoing repair or extension. And the extension, for example, right to ELW Hospital, they got a speed bump there. So you have to inform the public, look, at ELW Hospital, when you're approaching, there's a speed bump from both ways, coming from Robertsfield, going toward Robertsfield. If you fail to educate the public, they don't know about that, they will bump into that speed bump, there will be an accident. Another thing about the road is that the enforcement aspect of the road, take for example, again, if you have 40 miles per hour, 45 miles, like in Labrador, we say 45 miles per hour on the highway. If you have 45 miles per hour on the highway and you don't have police or highway patrol along the road, some people will be doing 80 where they're supposed to do 45 because there's nobody on the road, there's no camera on the road, there's nobody monitoring the road. So that's kind of enforcement. That's the 3 E's I want to talk about right there. So if you put in those 3 E's, if you put it into perspective, then you will see reduction in accident. There will be a reduction in accident. And whenever accident occurs, 3 things happen again. One, when accident occurs, people that lost their life, death, people sustain injury, people they sustain injury, and then their property damage because along the road, people got their property. Sometimes the people that own the vehicle, sometimes their own property get damaged. Sometimes they get injured, broken, fractured legs, fractured hand, or sometimes death. So 3 things happen. So in order to avoid or to mitigate or to help government to have way to resolve some of the issue, every vehicle flying the school or the street should have insurance. And that's one of the major things in Labrador we're lacking. Unlike in the Western country, before you put the vehicle in the street, you must be sure that there's an insurance on it before you put it on the street. Because this injury that you're going to cause, you got to indemnify these people by the injury you're going to cause them. And if the government does not enforce that, it becomes a serious problem for those that will sustain those injuries. Lastly, I will tell you, the last thing there is the public education that I talk about. For example, cross wall, people get on the wall, like people getting on the road, people get cross anywhere at any time. There is no signal, no red light, no stop sign. So if these people were going to go to school, driving school, get the driving education, they were going to understand some of the implications on where to stop, how to start, where to blow on, where to speed, where not to speed. These are some of the causes that are leading to most of the accidents in Liberia.
Honorable ZUBAH, we grateful that thing our viewers will be benefiting from your perspective on the 3 E's. My question is, these 3 E's, have you ever recommended that to the traffic, those involved, or to the government, or is it just something that your office believes in but not being implemented?
Okay, let me just make, first of all, in fact, coming onto the show, the introduction already is made, but I just want to make a disclaimer, then I continue on with what I'm saying. The disclaimer is, I'm in this capacity sitting here as Councillor KARSOR ZUBAH, in which I'm carrying the title as Judge of the Monrovia Traffic Code. Before people think that I'm providing education for educational purpose, yes. And to answer your question, those are recommendations when we have the opportunity to go to the academy, for example, to teach. We prefer this as things that need to be done. If we have the opportunity to go to public forum to give our opinion or our advice, because I see like it is better to tell the public how to drive, how to be conscious, what to do to avoid accident, than for you to sit in the court, reactively and see accident cases coming. So most times I'm kind of proactive, informing people on how to prevent accident. These are the things you're supposed to do. Where are the grave area? based on the accident cases that come to court, the accident cases that come to court and where those accidents occur, I come up with yearly statistics to say, look, this between this place to this place is a gray area. Now, currently, I have a gray area in Monrovia. I will tell you that if you get in that zone, you have to put your antenna on, or else you're going to experience accident. Either somebody going to hit you, or you're going to hit somebody because of the way they're driving. So yes, to answer the question, I have proffered some recommendation to both the Liberia National Police and some stakeholders in Liberia.
All right. So our viewers will have time to open up the telephone line, and the numbers will be up when the time comes so that you can be able to call in and ask Honorable Zubah if you have any question. Honorable Zubah, what are the most prevalent traffic violations that you have observed in your jurisdiction or the areas that you have control over, and how are they being addressed?
Firstly, in Liberia, in the past, prior to when I say in the past, we are going through modernization and things are getting recent and things are getting better every day. In the past, Liberia never had that much motorcycle, and there's some new thing they introduced called tricycle, which is they call it keke, tricycle. Those things were never in Liberia. So with the coming of this thing into Liberia now, basically, for example, the motorbike got engine and it's moving. By the time, sometimes they hit you, they bust your tail light. Before you get down from your car, because they don't have insurance, they're going to escort. They leave the scene. By the time the keke, the other one, the small one, you make up your mind, is scratch your car. Before you make up your mind, they may escort. And because the traffic kind of jam, those are areas that it damages people's car. By the time they hit your car, when you want to make up your mind to get out from the vehicle, they're gone. So who's gonna take care of that damage? Yourself going to take care of that damage. So there's a need. We're not saying, excuse me, we're not saying you should avoid or you should prevent them from coming in the street. I think there's a need to educate them, to provide education for them, call them group by group, session by session, provide basic education for them, and teach them on how to use the road in order to avoid some of the hits, some of the unnecessary accidents, because sometimes they become reckless, and the recklessness is the most common charge in the vehicle, the vehicle and traffic law. And recklessness will lead to you supposed to hold your motorbike with your two hands, and you holding it with one hand, putting phone to your ears. That recklessness. There are people driving through because they in their car, the guy or tinted on it, everything, all the windshields up. They are answering phone, and two things gonna happen. If you are driving and you get a sad news, sometimes you break down on the steering. Somebody gonna hit you, you're gonna hit somebody. If you are driving and you are too happy, sometimes you hit people because of your joy. You press the accelerator not knowing that you are pressing the brake, or you press the brake not knowing you're pressing the accelerator. Whatever the opposite way it is, it could lead to you having an accident. So basically, these are some of the causes these are some of the things that happen that causing the accident to be on the increase in Liberia.
Yeah, it's little concerning. When you started your introduction, you talked about people are not having driver license and the licenses, and they are driving and flying vehicles in the street of Monrovia or other parts of the country. Is there any measure that you think that the government is taking that should take to eliminate that? Because if you don't have a driver license, you don't. How can you operate a vehicle?
Okay. Rufus can attest to this. There was a period in Liberia, taxi, TX, were getting off the road. There was no taxi. You had black taxi, you had green taxi, you had red taxi, you had blue taxi. When taxi, the law of Liberia said taxi should be yellow. So that too is also have something to do with enforcement. It's enforcement. And that enforcement has to do with those that got the responsibility to ensure that those that are supposed to comply with the law. and that rests wholly and solely on the shoulder of the Liberia National Police enforcement. 2, the Ministry of Transport is a regulator of transport activity in Liberia. The enforcement of that regulation lies in the hands of the police. For example, again, in order to drive in Liberia, like I said earlier, you must have driver license. So the Ministry of Transport is responsible to issue driver license. The Ministry of Transport is responsible to register your vehicle. The Ministry of Transport should be in the know that your vehicle, before you get registered, it must be insured. Are they going by all this compliance? That's one question we need to pose to them. And when you ask me, I would say it is done haphazardly, with the exception of some people, because everybody is supposed to go through the same registration process by having insurance, by having driver license, by registering the car. Then we can get the car on the street. But if you avoid applying this thing, they're going to cause serious problem to the public and even the road user. If only the Liberia National Police can ensure that those who are operating vehicle operate vehicle with a license, I can assure you the accident we're going to reduce. If only Liberia National Police can ensure that those operating vehicle have driving education by having insurance on a vehicle, having registration on a vehicle, the accident rate going to reduce. On the contrary, most of the people that are not in compliance with the law, during the daytime, you don't see them in the street. As it is now, it is after 9, 10 in the night. That's the time they bring that vehicle in the street to operate. By that time, they think the law is sleeping. The law does not sleep. The law is awake at all times. Because when something happens, they're going to ask when it happened, why it happened, how it happened, where did it happen. So these are some of the things that we need to put into place in order to solve that other problem you talked about just now.
Yes,
So as a
Councillor.
traffic,
Yes.
go ahead.
Councillor, just an addition, follow up to the question asked by the CEO. For my end, how do you determine penalties for different types of traffic violations?
Okay.
As a traffic court judge.
The penalties are written in the book. You know, for example, if you supposed to drive and you don't have driver license, under the Vehicle and Traffic Law, Section 2.80 says that your failure to operate vehicle without driver license, you must go to jail for 6 months, or you pay a fine of $500, or both is at the discretion of the judge. That's just one example. There are other violations within the Vehicle and Traffic Law. For example, there are people who will take vehicle, they register, they got 2, 3 vehicles in a fence, they register only one. They will take the license plate of the other vehicle from the registered one and put it on the other one and get in the street. When you are caught, the fine for that is $1,000. If you are caught, it's $1,000. And I'm only the interpreter of the law. So somebody got to be caught and charged and sent them to court, and then before we can go through prosecution or trial, whatever the case may be, before we can find such a person and then send them to jail if they need to go to jail, or they pay the fine if they need to pay fine. Then they got issue tickets. For example, tickets. They issue regular tickets, and the tickets are given to the operator based on the violation. So the ticket range from under our system, it range from $10, $15, $20, upward to $100. So when they issue this ticket based on the offense, if you come to court and you appeal, if we deem it necessary that your appeal is genuine and necessary, then we can reduce the ticket to affordable amount that you can pay, and then you go and pay and come back. We release whatever the police car for you. It could be your vehicle, it could be your license, it could be anything that is moving, like your motorbike or your keke. But there are some things that when you come to court, I would not honor it. For example, the tricycle, I will start with the motorcycle. The motorcycle is supposed to carry one person, the rider, and one passenger. because there's an enforcement going on in Monrovia now, especially Central Monrovia, which is a lemon tech that every rider should carry a person, and now you should have one helmet, the person should have one helmet. If you violate that particular regulation and ticket will issue, you come to court, they give you $20 ticket in a much a motorbike. I would say reason like go pay 10 or 15, but give you 20, I say go and pay. When it comes to the keke is supposed to carry 3 person in the back. The rider are not entitled or are not allowed to carry somebody on that side. Sometimes some of them allow passengers to sit on their side, which is dangerous for them and dangerous for the person. Because I think the keke doesn't have that balance, because they have 3 tires, 1 in the front, 2 in the back. So when the police issue you ticket concerning you taking additional person in the front, if that ticket amount is whatever depends, except where it is too high. But if it's in the range of $30, $25, $20, I would tell you go and pay. But if you come to court for example, parking to improper area and the police give you $30 ticket, and we see, I would tell you like, look, go and pay $50 or pay $20, because you got to look at the country, you got to look at the economy, because the court is the fulcrum of society. The decision you make in court, I would make it.
Councillor, don't mean to cut you off.
Yes.
Because of our viewers, I will prefer if you can stick to the question and make it and limit the explanation so that the people can follow, because they may miss strength or the important things that you are saying, because we are bringing everything in. You do your best to explain that to our viewers, but I just wanted to stick to the question that is asked and answer the question first, and then you can give additional points when it comes to that.
Okay, and exactly that's what I'm doing. Like in this case, I've answered the question already, given the starting from the motorbike going to the keke, and then the last one is vehicle. For example, we have a lot of traffic. We got 2 ways coming. In the morning, we have rush hour. In the evening, we have peak hour. The rush hour is in the morning, where vehicles are coming. People are rushing to work. Students are going to school. That's rush hour. Some people will deliberately take the opposite lane, and they don't have the authority to take the opposite lane. In those cases, when they issue a ticket, you're going to pay, because we want to put stop to such a bad habit. And, so those are the 3 areas I really want to talk about when it comes to the violation and what can be done in terms of ticket, and how much the ticket should be, like you're saying. How much the ticket, because even constitutionally, the law talk about excessive bill and fine. And, you can't fine people, and the fine be excessive. So we see that we bring it in the right area and go and pay, and then we release, or we send release for whatever the police may have for you.
Okay, so I think Morris will be. We have a time to maybe you want to have a follow-up question or something else. But before Morris comes in, let's just. It's not going to play everything. Let's just watch this video. I'm going to cut it. It's too long. I'm just going to cut it and see how how the street is congested and how drivers are driving. And then you can comment on that and what you think about can be done to prevent those things. And then Morris will come in with his question after that video. Rufus, do you want to play that video on the traffic that we started with? there are a lot of things in that video, Honorable Zubah, as you can see, but some of the things that maybe my panelists will reflect on. Some of the things that I saw there is that a car was bending left, crossing right in front of the police officer who should be there, who should be directing traffic. Another car coming, he never directed. He just standing looking at that. Another thing we saw that some of the things we saw that motorbikes and vehicles was using the tail or the middle lane in the opposite direction, and the other police was standing right there in that time, and they're not directing. Just I don't know whether they're collecting money, I don't know what they are doing, but they're not directing and just standing right there. How can you respond to that situation and in the presence of police officer in the middle of the street, Tubman Boulevard and those places as well as the traffic is really flowing?
Look, let me just put my experience in this and tell you what happened. Like I made measure of the peak hour in the rush hour in the morning. The officer gets in the middle of the road to direct traffic, and then you tell you to go left, go right. Some people, when you tell them go right, they will insist that he must go left. When you tell the man go straight, he insists that he must go on the other side, the side he decided to go on, but not to take the instruction when you're supposed to take every instruction from the police officer who is standing on the road, because he knows what is good for you and what is good for the public. They don't listen to the police officer. So at that point in time, especially during the rush hour and during the peak hour, the officer gets frustrated. And that's one way of just expressing that frustration. You just say, you just tell him, sometimes you don't even talk. The man comes, you tell him, go the way, like, look, for example, you saw almost all of the motorboard taking the opposite lane. In driving, unlike developed country, I will bring it to LIBERIA before I take it to developed country. Because we don't have that money to demarcate the road. For example, the double yellow line you see on the road is an imaginary wall, meaning you shouldn't cross that wall. But because it's imaginary, the wall is not built, so motorcyclists take the other side. If you do what is on the Ralphie Highway to put black on that road and to separate the road, example, like the Japanese freeway, when you take that side of the road, anything happen, that is clear cut, you're in the wrong. So that's complete violation of the vehicle and traffic law to take the opposite lane to facing the traffic. Motorcyclists always doing it. Some vehicle, they don't want to be patient, they don't want to be in the queue. When they look one emergency vehicle pass, all of them jump behind an emergency vehicle and keep going. And I will tell you, the solutions are there. I know one of the solutions, but maybe I'm not in the position to enforce that. So when you say we're in a position, then you can know the solution. Those who have the solution, they're supposed to be. Because if you set example, what makes other countries great? It is the enforcement of the law that makes the country great. So that's why I notice happening when the police officers sometimes they are tired. They talk, no energy at the end of the day, they talk to the very people. So you just get frustrated. Sometimes they allow them to do that, won't they? I don't think they'll be happy staying over there, standing over there, and then people going, you direct the man, go left, the man not even listening to you. So those are some of the issues right there. The construction of the road, the roads we use in land, the dotted line is used to change lane. That yellow line is the imaginary thick line that you're not supposed to cross. Some people riding on it. Motorcycle, they can be riding on it. So it's a difficult thing for the police officer too.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got to speak and talk about it, and talk about the behavior of the operator, whatever vehicle or whatever motor vehicle or motorcycle. Okay.
Makari should be maybe you want to come with any questions. Makari, got any question for?
Yeah. Let me just come in. Yeah, Councillor Zubah, thank you so much for accepting our invite. And I think we're learning a lot of things from you this evening, like the CEO and Rufus earlier mentioned. We just hope that Liberia will get better with some of these regulations and think. I think we really don't have problems with laws. Liberia has a lot of laws, but just the implementation has been a problem. If I stand to be corrected, I think you've been uh, with that entity or with the code since 2017, right? Or am I making a mistake? You've been,
Correct.
yeah, since 2017. You've been in that position, right?
Mhm.
So, the first question I'd like to ask you is, what are the most frequent cases that you receive that you've been receiving since you've been in that position? Let me just know first before I can ask you the question. I want to ask you the most frequent cases that come to
In
your,
Liberia,
yeah,
yeah, in Liberia, the courts are named as per what they do. You understand me, right?
granted,
So,
yeah,
for example, the Morovia Traffic Code, in as much as I'm a lawyer and a counselor, but my job is my job specifically is to listen to traffic related issues and cases.
yes,
So in that code, in
mhm,
that code, when cases come to court, they come when accident occur, like I said in my opening, three things happen: death, injury, and property damage. So every time they come to court, three of those things must happen.
all right,
Sometimes not necessarily three of them have to happen. Sometimes one can happen. For example, accident will come to court today, they say somebody died, there's a death.
mhm,
Accident will come to court another day involving death and injury.
mhm,
Accident will come to court another day involving property damage and injury, no death. Sometimes accident comes to court, there is those three components: death, injury, and property damage. So those are the three things that we listen to. Like this year, we received 98 cases from the Liberia National Police, because the police is the feeding is there's the feeding machinery to the court. The
yeah.
cases they bring to court for us to listen to it, they brought 96. Of the 96, I will share the statistics with you people after the program. I got it on my phone. I will then forward to the CEO, and then you will share with you people. I categorize them into number of the 96, how many are involving death, how many are involving property damage, how many are involving injury, how many involve death and injury, like that. But I'm going to send it to you. So to answer your question, we only listen to injury cases that come to court, or property damage cases that come to court, and death issue. But listen,
So
if
let me ask you
listen,
now.
if,
Yeah,
uh-huh,
yeah. I think that's what I want to know here. Let me ask you now.
okay.
Of those cases, how many of those cases have you been adjudicating or been, rendering judgment? And what have been some of those judgment? How have your judgment been effective? Because I mean, I listened from your introduction, all of the things, the challenges you named concerning road construction, and traffic's rule or regulations, violations, and the rest of it. I think your position as a judge is when the cases go to you to look into it to know who's wrong or who's right. Those of the people that have been coming with cases, either from individual or the police send reports of cases of accident and whatever the cases are, you know them. What I want to know is how many of those cases that you really been rendering judgment, and how effective have that judgment made some impact? That's what I want to know. The 96 cases, be it accident or whatever injury, just tell us what are some of those judgment you've been rendering, and what of those judgment was ready and implemented.
Okay. This is what happened in the code, for example. Let me just give a practical example. If there's a accident between you, McCarthy, and Rufus, and the police went through investigation and they hear you, McCarthy, liable for the accident, they bring you to court, you become the defendant. McCarthy is the defendant, Rufus is the plaintiff party. sometimes if there's an injury with the defendant, I mean with the plaintiff party, you have to go through the hearing process before we can commence the hearing, because the man can be injured, they'll be hearing the case. So when the man go through the hearing process, and then he will come to court and say, look, I went to hospital, my car to pay all my medical bill, this thing can happen, I don't think I want to have case against him. We're not looking for case. The court is proactive. It is there to hear matter. But if you come to court, if Rufus come and say, look, during the course of the accident, they may not identify with me, I want you to make judgment. We go into the matter, the witnesses come and testify, both for you that were involved in the accident testify. Then we make judgment. If we make judgment, the judgment will tell you which part of the vehicle and traffic law you broke that led, because in order for accident to occur, there must be a cause. And if it was from your action that the accident occurred, then we give you the law, we give you the penalty, and if you're violating that law, you go and pay a fine. If you're supposed to go to jail, we send you to jail. And the results from that court, if Rufus want to sue you for damages, then he go to damage court. You go to the rightful court now to go file civil action for your reckless driving, because I'm just limited to that. So he will go to the requisite court now with the judgment from my court, and then he can proceed from there. But there are some cases that are still pending, and it is pending because you people are behind the scenes having some discussion. You're not coming to court. Then in the long run, because the court will not do for you what you cannot do for yourself. We're not looking for cases, but when cases come, we are obligated, we are obliged to hear these cases. So when you come, we make the assignment. Whoever party come, we make the assignment, and then we set the assignment. We invite
ZUBAH, thank you so much.
Yes,
I'm still going off my follow-up question. Thank you so much.
No
With
problem,
all of these problems you've been naming that have been hindering our traffic, especially creating accident, causing accident, and the rest of it. We know there are some problems that come from the government, the executive itself, and, in terms of road construction, in terms of traffic lights, in terms of people going,
rules,
just getting on vehicles, getting in car without having driver license. Those won't come from the Ministry of Transport. We can pull them on you. Maybe we're probably going to invite the transport minister one of these days. But what I want to know is the traffic court, like you mentioned earlier, and you just mentioned again, is there to make sure they can adjudicate cases that go to them, those cases that you name. And when you view those cases, where applicable, you render judgment to people who are held liable for accident cases that they are responsible for. Now, we still see the kind of repetition of accidents occurring. And some of those accidents that are occurring, they probably not because there's no traffic light. Some people deliberately violate the traffic and they do things out of control, and they fall into the wrong side and cause problem for other people. Is it just enough with this kind of small penalty to say you pay $20, you pay $25? Do you see these small penalties as a means for which people just outrightly violate some of these laws and things because they know they will go to the traffic court at the end of the day? They're just going to pay $20-$25 and be left and to go and run that traffic again. Do you see small penalties as being minimal for which people are really violating the traffic law and then go to and just walk away?
No. I would say no. It's not about the penalty. Besides, traffic violation or accident are natural phenomena. Natural in the sense that at night hour, in as much as people are sleeping at night, there are other people in the street. Technically, you expect more accident to occur in the day, and you expect the worst accident to. You should expect more accident in the day and the worst accident in the day, because that's the time everybody out. But on the contrary, in the night, that's the time we have more accident and they are more fragile. And they are fatter and fragile to the extent that Sometimes they cut lepers, they kill people, they hate other people. The fine you're talking about, the issue of a fine is one thing. Like I said, if you pay, if the man violates the law, he's supposed to pay fine. I will give you a common example. Lessons in Liberia, unlike, I don't know which country you're in, unlike, I will give comparative analysis with Liberia and America.
I mean, how in Europe?
I'm in Europe.
Lessons in your country, there are processes involved in getting Western licenses in developed countries like Europe and America. So you cannot just go, if you pay for lessons, you just go the next day, you say, I want lesson. The next day, you say, you want lesson. In Liberia, if the lessons are priced from $35, $45, and $100 for the heavy duty. So if the man violates and you gain $100 ticket or $50 ticket when the lesson at $35, the man will say, excuse me for the expression, to hell with that lesson, I'm going to get a new lesson. The system, you understand? So instead of you, look, allowing the man to hell with that lesson, let the man go and pay 25 to government revenue, we release the lesson, he come back again, he violate, he go pay another 25 and 50, he come back again, he go pay another 25 in government revenue. So if you continue, it's time will come you realize, but when I'm spending too much money on lesson, on ticket, I got to behave myself. So it's not, the punishment is there for deterrent, so that they can deter themselves and stop. Look, I spent it the last time my keke was parked for 3 days because I violated. I will be very careful, and, you know, because my brother, whether you like it or not, we don't have money. I will tell you that, and, you know. So when it's there, taking where it went, when it's there, you get it. And unlike the Western society, you can't park your car and you need to go to where you need a car. The car is of necessity, and, you know, it's not that yet. So the only thing we need is the enforcement aspect to make, but we try our best. We haven't getting there yet, but I will tell you, like now, as I speak to you, the issue of lessons now, more Liberians are acquiring lessons. The issue of insurance, you know, I will tell you, is 50-50 now. If you put 10 car owners in Liberia, 5 will get lesson, 5 will not get lesson. If you put 10 car owners in Liberia, 5 will get insurance, 5 will not get insurance. But we should move more to get more lessons, more insurance, so everybody can start understanding the rules of the road. You understand? If we don't do that,
before the CEO comes in, CEO, sorry, before you come in, all right, let me just ask this question. I was in Liberia in September up to November, and I spoke with several people, and one of the things I noticed in Liberia is that people get lesson without going through the procedure of a driving school or learning how to drive practically. And like you mentioned earlier, sure, people really don't know the traffic rules. They don't know the various sounds, what it means. And people go to the Ministry of Transport and get their driver's lesson, whether they can drive or not. The fact that you appear there and you can pay that money to someone, you're going to get driver lesson. Now, these are Liberia's problem is kind of more so big to the extent that we can solve it in 1 year. We all know, we all are Liberians. We are not stranger to our country, but we have to start from somewhere. You sitting at the traffic court, you along with the other judges or whoever, you know, that are there. Don't you think it's also good when traffic rules, when traffic regulations are being broken, and then cases go to you to the court involving driver? Don't you think it's also good that you can start working around a policy or a recommendation that anyone who goes to the court for violation or for causing, accident or whatever, we know it's a normal phenomenon. People do it deliberately, sometimes with recklessness. But don't you think it's good that if someone brings a case, this man brings a case to the traffic court and he's violated the traffic rule, to ask for the man, okay, how long you been driving for? Can we see, you see your driver lesson? Yes, but can we see some document that, you went to driving school this time, and, X year, amount of year, how long have you been driving for? Because I can go to tomorrow to Liberia and get driver lesson. How many years have I been driving for? Which entity did I learn my driving from? Even if someone taught me before, let some documents be here, because these are things that can help the country to grow. Somebody can just sit beside their father. Their father go to work every morning, and then he does it for 1 month. The next day, he pick up his father's car and gets on the street. When he goes anywhere, he comes back home safely without accident. He goes to the Ministry of Transport and get driver lesson. Accident will continue. I don't care whether you have street lights all over. I don't care what will have all of the sounds. As long as the right things are not done, we will still have these problems. You don't think those recommendations also good to look into it so that we can minimize these problems and things?
For now, all of the concern and questions you were asked, this is the best question to me. And I'm not saying the other questions are not good. The reason why this question is the best question to me is in my plan of action 2025, we did a mini database to get statistics on people that come into court. For example, coming for ticket challenge, coming to appeal. We have a mini database, and we open quota, we put all the necessary information in it. So beginning February, because this January, we loading the database now. Beginning February, if McCarthy's come to the court, assuming we don't know that McCarthy, when you first come to the court, we will take your ticket from you and go in our database to log it in to see whether you have ever come to the court. You understand? If you've been there, we're not going to tell you. We'll just make notation that you've been there. Then we'll ask you if you lie. If you lie to the court, you mislead the court, we can send you to jail. And whoever lawyer will tell you. And if you did something before and you came back and the issue ticket, the ticket is a little bit high, we will know. The court will not reduce that ticket. You're going to pay for that ticket and give you the reason why we're not reducing that ticket. So, doing one thing over and over, you yourself got to try to modify it, to make it, to add some flavor to it. So beginning this year, this question, I like the question, beginning this year, like you look in, like you saw my plan of action for 2024, I'm 2025. That's one of the major things I'm working on, so that people can be very cognizant of the law, so that we will even, when the time reaches, if you grossly violating, we will even write, which is in the vehicle and traffic law, we will write the Ministry of Transport, telling them suspend Rufus lesson because he's a threat, he's a bad driver, and they will put you on that database. They will not give you driver lesson to operate. That's one of the plans we get for this year. Thank you for that concern. I hope that was it.
Sure, CEO is all up to you. Even though I will come back in between, but it's up to you, because that's what happening in Europe here. If you violate 2-3 times and you break the law after suspension and thing, your name is in the system, and you probably might not even drive again any longer. So whether you go change your driver lesson or whatever, your name is in that system. And then when you put in any system, your name will still pop on that Ernest Gibson. You have been breaking the rules and you violated. So while you are driving taxi now, we see you with truck driver lesson. You can bypass the law. Thank you.
Just to see you just a little bit to add on to what they've been saying, and there's this conflict that was actually between the Ministry of Transport and that of the police in who to actually carry on registration and so forth. The registration process and insurance processes should have, or inspection should have begun earlier last year, but it took a month before they could come into play because there was this conflict. They had to even go before the House of Representatives and that of the Senate to get this thing settled. Now we are talking about the authority that should be given, or that the Ministry of Transport was enacted on, brought into play, being given to another institution, that the Liberia Transport Management. So now, what would the court, as a court judge, what role would you actually play in this when it comes to, because you have the Ministry of Transport, who should be the regulatory body to issue these kinds of documentation, lessons, lesson plates, and all the stuff. Then you have another institution being hired by the government of Liberia through the Liberia National Police to carry on these regulations. So how are you going to fit in this process as a traffic code judge?
Let me just give you one common example that I listened to last year, a case. A private citizen came to court and reported to the court and brought a complaint that a transport ministry employee took away his driver license, and that is causing a serious problem. As a result of that, he parked his vehicle and he brought a main complaint. So we sent a citation to the Ministry of Transport, and the Transport Ministry, through their Inspector General, who is the guy Inspector General for vehicle inspection, they brought him to court. You understand? They brought the fellow to court. So when he appeared before court, the complaining party make their case. He put on his defense. So I asked him, what is your scope of function? What is the SOP? What's your job description? He gave his own job description, and he started talking about he can inspect lesson, he can inspect document, he can inspect this, he can inspect that. So what I did, I pulled the vehicle and traffic law and said, read this section. And that section on a 9.2 or 9.4, I said, read this section. It's titled Duty of the Police Officer. And the duty of the police officer, the law says that at any point, at any given time, whether in Europe, in Africa, or heaven or hell, when the police asks you for your driver license, you are to surrender your driver license to the police. Are you a police officer or a transport employee? You say, we work together. So I say, you know what? You wrong this man, and next time I shouldn't hear this. And I want to find them $25 for going for, I don't want to use the word ultra-virus because the ultra-virus is the most used word. It was ultra-virus because, you get your job, you leave your job, then you want to do the other man's job. If you want to incorporate the police into the Ministry of Transport, you can go and seek and pray for the act to be passed. You can do that work together. But until that time can reach, it is only the police are supposed to do this thing. You leave the police work alone. So to answer your question, when such a thing happens, we will find out, we will be, because most of the time the court not going to go. That's why it's presumed that the court got all of the laws. And when the law changes, the law will be published and tell who responsible to do that, who responsible to do that. Until that time can reach, the law remains the law, and we're going to go by it as time unfolds.
Councillor Zubah, most of the things we've been talking about here, I think is some of the things I see that it centers around drivers' education. So my question here will be, what are your thoughts on the balance between traffic enforcement and drivers' education in improving road safety in Liberia?
In my intro, I said that we never had, in the past, we never had tricycle. We never have motorboat. But because they are coming, so it looked like new phenomenon. So there's a need to have education and awareness, because something that will not existing and coming and keep coming. I will tell you, I've talked with some colleagues from Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone government have banned the importation of motorbike because the motorbike is coming too much. I will tell you that when you even look at the ratio of motorcycle to the police, the motorcycle have 100, I would not say 100, I over exaggerate. The motorcyclists are 10 times or 20 times the population of the police. How will you be regulating people or enforcing people on people when the people more than you? So the day the people get vexed, I don't want to talk about that side. You understand? Because the men who you dealing with, they more than you. So, there, for example, if you look at the ratio of one policeman, it will be one policeman to 20 motorcycles. One policeman to 20 motorcycles. So when you're going to catch all your 20, put it under control, the other man catch under 20 or enforcing 20. So the best thing to do is to have a formal education, open, and that education should be broad. Maybe like through this kind of thing. I don't know who offering, but there will be people, we all will learn from this. There will be people who are following, they will honor sense on things too.
So, Councillor, not cutting you off. So, yes, my point, my follow-up question. I know you've been presiding over cases, and have you ever recommended anybody to have to go for driving education, and if they are found guilty and you deem it necessary, or we have not had that implemented in Liberia?
The one I will speak to is the issue. The fact of the matter that you came to court and you came to appeal on a ticket, and it is written on the ticket that you don't have a driver lesson. It gets to me. I'm not being personal with it, but it's like a defiance to the court. So when that happens, I send you to jail. You understand?
Okay.
So that's how I will answer that question. Let me tell you something. I was going to work this day. My car had small issue. I went on the road. I sat in the keke, and a police officer was sitting on my side. We were three in the back, and the rider of the keke deliberately saw that policeman and put another person in the front of the keke. I told the policeman, I said, I can't be police officer, and they may tell me, say, I don't know what I'm doing. I will arrest you and go and pack that keke and issue you a ticket. You understand? You can't be a police officer, you say that the man violating right in your front. It hurt me, and I told them when I was getting down from, before I got down from the keke, I told them, you say that as a policeman, they violate the operator, take another person and put him on his side when he's not supposed to be doing that. Gross disrespect. If I honor the law, they call it disobedient to police officers, that been disrespectful. You know, I told him, I say, if I was a police officer, you know the thing about it, you cannot put your emotions in the web. And you understand? So at that point in time, even if I'm going, right before me, I see an accident, because I'm the accident judge or the traffic court judge, doesn't warrant me to go on the scene to be doing drag. That's not my job. Because my expertise is way up there. I gotta wait. The people who sort of do the preliminary, they do the necessary, they bring it to me before now, because they gotta sift it and they are modified to tell you, say, you are wrong, and this is why I make you wrong, this is why I make you wrong, this is why I make you wrong.
So your answer give me a great concern, because you are working with the courts and the police there with the transport. The police there on a different part of it, and he's there on the street, and he's doing that before you. So my question is, how does your court work with the local law enforcement agency to promote safety initiatives? Because you are right there as a judge, and then you see a police officer doing that. So how do you, how does the court work with the local agencies to provide safety for our people?
If they have like a workshop or have like a retreat and invite me, which of course they have been doing, we provide them, we tell them the basics and tell them how to carry on this job.
So, Mr. Councilor, this is a serious issue we're talking about. Now we're talking about if they have a workshop, but you are a judge.
If
you are a judge, sir, you are a judge, and you are saying these things happening in your present. How do you work with the local agencies to prevent these things? You're talking about if they have a workshop. Now, there's no workshop, but we see accidents. These things are leading to people's, life, and things are happening that beyond our control. So, what are your initiatives, or what the court can do to prevent some of these things?
The court got nothing to do. I will tell you that. But as an individual, I raised my concern right there. I didn't get carried in my feeling. I told the officer, I said, look, you are an officer. This is where they call plain view. When you have plain view doctrine, in your presence, the man is violating. He been so reckless. He been disrespectful. His intention is intentionally doing what he's doing and it is wrong, and you sat down there, that's the only thing I can do. Just talking over right there. But to save my job, look, let me just tell you one thing. The courts not going all over. The courts, whether we like it or not, the courts are reactive. The courts are not proactive. Take for example, if you go to court today, not because no case, you must go get to the police station and say, you send me case, man. And you send me case. Normally, you look at society and great society. When accidents are reduced, then you know the people honestly the vehicle and traffic law, they are complying. Take for example, I haven't lived that much long in Europe, but in America, for example, on a daily basis, they got multiple accidents. All the way they got the sophistication and thing, but there are still accidents that occurring. So what they do is they strengthen their insurance policy to the extent that when you make accident today, if you're insured $1, they put another 25 cents on it. And, so that next time you know that your insurance premiums are going on, it would serve as a deterrent to you. And so I think we should be looking in that same direction. And it's not with me. They got people who are close. They got their job. I got my job. They got their own job. I always tell people the job that I'm being paid for, I only do my job. If I'm supposed to hear case and react case and make the decision, if I'm supposed to send it to CEO, I send it to CEO. It doesn't mean because I hear the case, I'm going to complete the case and close the case. No. If the CEO so to be the next person, so to send the case to, I send it to you. If it's so to go to Rufus, I send it to Rufus. If Rufus so to send it to McCarthy, Rufus now a level Rufus send it, that's not my business.
All right. So I know this accident did not happen in your jurisdiction. I think it happened on the Buchanan and Montefiore Highway. It happened on the I think the 11th of this month. I don't know if you have any idea about this case and how far did it go and was are you hearing me?
Okay. So and
Counselor, you hearing me?
I just wanted to give you one funny thing. Let me just give you with this funny. It's serious, and that's.
I don't think he was hearing you because he's talking. Councilor ZUBAH, are you hearing?
Councilor ZUBAH?
He's not talking. I'm not hearing him. He's frozen.
Ernest, I think you got to check your.
I'm talking. Are you hearing me?
He's frozen. And in the Western world, that means supposed to be complaining about my internet.
It's not hearing you, Ernest.
Councilor ZUBAH, I don't know what's going on, but Rufus, I'm talking.
And I'm supposed to be complaining about internet, right? And
but he's talking. Councilor ZUBAH, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Are you hearing me too?
And this is frozen.
Okay, let me go out and come back in.
Yeah, I think you have to go out and come back. I think he's going off to come back. And he in America, okay? America shouldn't be freezing you.
I'm not freezing.
Maybe the snow falling.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, the bell in Minnesota.
Are you hearing me now?
He got to North Dakota now. They're hearing you.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know what was that. So I said that there was an accident that happened later of this month. I don't know what happened in your jurisdiction. It happened on the Buchanan Montefiore Highway. It happened on the 11th of this month. And I don't know if you are aware of this accident. And I heard that the two people, the drivers involved, are still alive. I don't know there was any investigation. I will play this short video so you can see, and then we can go from there.
Very crucial issue on Buchanan Highway. Serious accident. They are still forcing the car to get open. As you can see, people are staying in the car. What? Jesus! Wow.
So that was a serious and a critical accident. I don't know if you're aware of this accident and if there was anything brought sent to the court, and if you are aware of what really caused that accident, because it was too horrible, terrible on the Buchanan Montefiore Highway. Are you aware of that accident on the 11th of this month?
No. But
Okay.
I have seen such an accident on the Tottenham Boulevard
Okay.
in that same form. And
So do you,
I
go ahead.
see the road wet, and those kind of accidents can occur when little rainfall, small rainfall, because they get something called defensive driving. The way you drive on the dry road, you don't drive on the wet road at that, and that road is wet. So if you're on the dry road, you're doing 50. When it rains, you must divide that speed by 2.
So that's some of the education our people need back home when it's because. So what's your thoughts on speed limit? As I learned that we don't have any speed limit in Liberia, so now you just talk
That's
about.
not true. That's
Well,
not
that's
true.
what I'm asking. If we have a speed limit,
The highest
because
speed limit in Liberia is kind of frustrating. The highest speed limit in Liberia is 45 miles per hour on the highway.
so how do we know? How do we know that if I came to Liberia and I have my international driving lessons, I can drive in Liberia. How do I know the speed limit when the speed limit is there? We don't have signs on most of the highways to be posted. So how do I know the speed limit? I used to run on the highway. I used to run on the highway.
Now that you know that, I told you that the highest speed limit in Liberia is 45. Anything above 45, you are violating. And let me tell you something about driving.
My question is not for me. Excuse me, Councilor.
It's for the public.
It's not for me, Councilor. But I came to Liberia and I never been on the Have You talk show. And I came to Liberia and I'm driving. I used to driving 75, 80 miles per hour on a highway here in intercontinental highway here in the US is 75 to 80 miles per hour on a highway. And I used to that speed of driving 65 and 75 and 80 miles per hour on the highway. And I came to Liberia. I'm driving from Monrovia to Buchanan. There is no speed limit. Nothing is posted up. How do I know the speed limit? Why is the government not doing the regulation, putting a speed limit so we can know? When we can dish up $110,000 US dollars for one lawmaker just in this budget, how can we not have a speed limit posted on the highway? And
CEO, before the councillor comes in, just to make a correction, the speed limits are along the highways, but the drivers themselves violate these rules and regulations. Even when it comes to curve, the signs are there. When there's a speed breaker somewhere, the signs are ahead. It showed you that there is a speed breaker. You are going to a bridge. All these signs are there when the road were being constructed. But the drivers themselves, they violate because the police are not playing their actual role to monitor, most especially the highway police, to monitor the speed limits of these drivers. That's why you have patrol cars. These patrol cars should go after people who are in excessive speed to make them to understand they are in violation. But rather than you see them collecting the little nickel dump on the highway, like they gone time, the IG arrested some of them, and he dismissed one and allowed the other 2 to go on suspension.
So talking about the IG he submitted, ZUBAH. There's a picture up there. It was posted up by the IG himself, Gregory Coleman, who talked about driving and seeing his own people dishing up money that he has collected. How much? 36,000 or how much?
36,000.
36,000 Liberian dollars that they are collecting from drivers who are struggling to make ends meet for the family. They have to report. To the car owners if they're their own vehicle. They have to get something for themselves. They have to also keep gasoline in the car for the next day. But yeah, our officials who are being paid on the highway are collecting money, raised up to $36,000. What do you think about this, and what message you think that this send to the government and to those who are in uniform? But ZUBAH, are you there?
The only thing I would encourage them, it is always good to just do the right thing. That's not the right thing they are doing. And there's difference between doing things right and doing the right thing. That's not the right thing they are doing. You know, I'm a grassroots police officer. And I said once before that if a policeman is doing a good job and you CEO you admire that officer coming to work, his tardiness is clean, his deportment is good, you can even on your own decide to give him something. And when I said that the news misquoted me and the carrier said the traffic jersey police can take bribe, that's not bribery. That's not bribery. That appreciation. But in this case, I don't think it was right on the officer's side. And because it was not right, that's why things are being done the same over and over and over, and we're getting the same result. Because when you move those batch of officers over, you bring another batch of officer, it's just a matter of changing or the wine in the bottle because the uniform is the bottle. You just changing the individual, but the attitude will still want to be in them. So that one, you know, this country, they think about it, where we go, you got to be very careful to make statement. But I will tell you, everybody didn't act appropriately. I will tell you that. I think, you know, bringing them to the public to see that this is what they're doing, you know, I don't think it was necessary.
Okay, you spelled a good point. It was not necessary bringing to the public because I was looking online and people were posting that Gregory Coleman on the IG is just showing off and boasting because he knows that there are a lot of things that are happening, you know, on the highway. And only this one he chose this day to bring up. So he was just trying to put up shows so people can say that he's working. Do you think he was just putting a show, or was it intention right, or what do you think he was trying to do to just put these officers up like that and just post it and make a comment?
I can't make comment on that. I already said I don't think it was necessary. Ask them my opinion. I don't think it was necessary.
All right.
No,
Okay.
You know,
and Rufus, do you have anything for the council?
When I say it wasn't necessary, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
Only you at that point in time in life, if you were at that point in time, you know what it means to be there. There are some people in this world, the definition for hunger, only they don't know what they call hunger in the stomach. You understand?
So are we insinuating that the police were hungry? That's why they were collecting money from the street, from the drivers?
No. In short, the only thing we say here, look at the policemen, look at their deportment alone. Look at that deportment.
What happened to the deportment? Just put a picture back up for our viewers. What happened to the deportment? I see
you
the
see uniform. Are they fully unified?
Well, a couple of them are unified. I don't know.
Okay.
So what's the point?
No, I'm not going to go there.
So Agnes, I think the counselor, the judge rather, it's the same. I think the judge doesn't want to go. On the other hand, he's playing his game smartly. There are some things he want to talk, but he doesn't want to talk it. I can understand from the kind of way he's making his comment. But let me say this first before I can ask him my next question. There is no justification for outrightly carry on corruption like the police did. And I know that Liberians are entitled to their views, to have said that the IG took his decision just to show her that showmanship. Those could be the same Liberians that would have said, if Gregory Kuma had not done anything or taken such action, they would have said the same thing, that those people were caught in corruption in the broad day, and yet and still the IG did not do anything. So in country, I mean, if we want Liberia to go forward, there are some strong precedent we must set, no matter or regardless who are being hurt. We have to set the precedents. That's what makes our country better. If you're a police officer, we know that the police pay is low and whatever the case is. If you agree to do that job, you have to do that job with your clear heart. You have to do that job diligently. You have to do that job free of corruption. We are not saying anybody is perfect, but in the broad day, to be collecting 50, 100 from drivers, yes, passengers will be happy that police collect from driver because the driver themselves thief and the passengers say vis-a-vis. But you as a police officer to be cutting that kind of out, I mean, it's discouraging. It's actually bad. So I think the precedent set by the IG was very welcoming for me personally. If we want to get Liberia better, that was the right precedent was set. So it's going to serve as deterrence to other officers who are involved in that. Probably they used to do it broad day, but this time around they're going to do it professionally because with no corruption in Liberia, I don't care how long it takes, somehow it's going to be there and it's going to be practiced. But now I want to come back to the judge. With all of these
just
problems,
1 minute, just 1 minute, just 1 minute, Morris.
Yeah.
Morris, just 1 minute.
Yeah.
You know, the CEO can better explain that. Just 1 minute. You know the story of Pontiac Party and Jesus Christ, right?
He knows that man reading plenty book. He knows.
You tell me about the story. I don't know why you're driving at.
No, you know that story better than me. Then there's another story that I may not be too old because, but there's a story that they were trying to crucify somebody. I think for committing adultery, and they say who will be the first. Jesus asked, who will be the first? They say the woman will carry out prostitution or what? They say, but who will be the first to cast the stone? That the kind of situation right there. You know. But it's a deep thing, and I know I've been there. Okay. I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not outside. I'm an insider.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
But we can't bring our table closer and watch.
So you no comment for now. No further comment.
Let me say this, Morris. I know you're trying to say that I know the counselor has what to say, but if you come on if you come on a hot view, let me talk to Rufus. Rufus, how many? We had to go 2 hours. We're going 1 hour 17 minutes. How many more minutes counselor you have with us? Can you go 20 more minutes or how many more minutes? I think it's almost 12 o'clock in Liberia right now. And our people will have to one person in the studio with us. So we may have to have Rufus leave the studio and he can leave us so we may continue and conclude with you. I don't know how many more minutes you have to go with us.
I think we should have less than 20-25 minutes less, right?
Right, yeah.
Less, yeah, because we started 9:30 something, I think, and it's after 11, so we're going almost 2 hours.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, Mr. Makari, if you come on the Have You Talk show when we come here, we sometimes we want to ask the hardball questions. Whether the person trying to be professional, trying to dig around the corner, it's none of my business. I just want to ask the question and let the viewers make the decision on whether the person answered or did not answer. So I know Honorable ZUBAH, and I know that he's very wise in answering questions, and he will do what he needs to do to make it right about that. But one of the things I'm talking about the IG, I would want to see that if the IG will come up and expose, other, things that are happening. If it does, then the public will come to understand that he was not showing off. But if this just remain like this for this time and nothing else happens, then I will agree with the public that he was just trying to show off because people have been calling him. They had to call the team, the Instagram police officer. He always posting stuff online and he's not working. So maybe this may have seen, well, let me just show to the people that I'm working. I'm not just posting, giving interview, but let me start posting police pictures to see that I'm arrested. Because I believe most of the things came to the IG before, but he chose to expose this one. So we will wait and see. Any question from from Rufus, anything to?
Yeah, I want to ask him before we
McCarthy.
start concluding. The question I want to ask is just something that I want to understand. Councillor ZUBAH, since you've been at the Monrovia traffic court, when last do you recall, or can you record that the Monrovia traffic court, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport, the National Police, had an experience changing, maybe summit or conference or whatever, where you share various experiences you encounter in the court, various cases you encounter, various cases the police, docket every time and sent to the court, and cases from the Ministry of Transport. When last do you have similar collaboration and to share those kind of experiences and find a way forward to say this problem? I mean, some of these problems derive from your area, some of these problems derive from your area. So let's do this way, let's do this way. If it needs legislation, let's see what we can do. When last? Since 2017.
Before coming to the show, the CEO said we asked a couple of questions and we're not going to disclose some of these questions. Any of the questions to you, you receive the question as we ask them. But your question is like the thing I'm doing in the code that he asking me about. That's why I say, but how the man managed to know? So
I think they may share questions with you. I was suspending.
No,
gonna share for the next two shows.
And like the man asking people, I think the man went behind me. You gotta ask the man. Maybe he went to my office or he sent somebody to be asking some things because the man get everything. I think you gotta investigate that man. But to answer your question, every year, I have a stakeholder meeting in my closing, I call it the closing, the year-end closing program of the Monrovia Traffic Code. And I invite the Ministry of Transport, not only the Ministry of Transport, the Director for License, the Director for Motor Vehicle, from the Transport Ministry. I invite them. Then I invite the Liberia National Police, the Chief of Public Safety, the Chief of Traffic, the Chief of Motor Vehicle of the Police, the Chief of Ticketing, and the accident investigator. I invite them. The insurance company, I invite them. The towing truck, the tow trucks, I invite them. And I have like a presentation and tell them, look, gentlemen, this is what we need to do to move the country forward. In as much as the code is not involved with some of these things, but these are the things we experienced over the year, and these are some of the things we need to do to move the country forward. So, McCarthy, yes, those are things I do every year. You can send people. I know you not send people there because we asking me, tell you looking in the code set. But those are things. Define. I mean, Rufus is here. Rufus kind of is here. Let him take a look. Let him talk to some of his colleagues that are assigned to the judiciary. And I one person, what they gave me to do, the task they gave me to do, I do that task and I try to modify it. And I know all of the stakeholders. And I can even invite the president of the motorcycle union to come. Not all of them will show up. But if all of them were coming, we were going to be getting results. Further to that, every morning, if I go to court, if I have at least 5 persons or more appearing in court and they have issue, it's not like a devotion, but I take my time. Look, if you came here, you don't have driver lesson, there's no need to waste my time. Just go. If you came here, you took the opposite lane and you came to the court, don't waste my time. Just go. If you came here, you carry side piece and you came here for reduction, don't waste my time. Just go. By the time the court is overcrowded, when I've set all my regulation before I start, I say, yeah, CEO, what happened to you? McCarthy, what happened to you? Kanye, what happened to you? So people can just start walking out easily. And I do that to ease my job because it means I don't want to waste my time on you. I just have my little orientation, and soon I finish my orientation, they start working all by themselves. Then the remaining one, then I can look into that matter. So those are some of the ways. And I see, I'm happy doing it. I found pleasure doing it. I think that's my way of giving back to my own country.
Okay. We just opened. We never had time to open the line, so I think Rufus is basically in for that. So I just posted a number to our viewers if they have time to call the last uh, 15, 20 minutes we have. Councilor, I wanted to, I'm going to go on a general issue right now. You may don't have to respond if you don't want to, and if you want to respond, you can respond to those issues that I'm about to share with you. But this one is talking about, let's look at the State of the Nation address upcoming on Monday. We have our lawmakers, some of them who stating that they're going to boycott that for so many reasons, and one of the reasons that is said that the justice system did not interpret the order of the courts directly to the president, and so they are playing into that. Now, you being a judge, if you can comment, I know you've been a lawyer and a judge. So, do you think that what do you make of the interpretation of the court on this whole situation with the Speaker of the House situation and the interpretation of the justice system to the president? What's your take on that?
Okay, I will answer it by asking question. So, McCarthy, are you there? Eh?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So, McCarthy is a judge. He listened to our case, and he's supposed to get judgment tomorrow in the case. But the case was between KARSOR, ZUBAH, and the CEO. And McCarthy is going to the court the next morning. In fact, in the net, people surrounding the house say, when you made that decision in favor of the CEO, you see what we'll do to you. We'll do that thing, you see what he will do to you. McCarthy, when you go to court, you still go make that judgment. If even the CEO were wrong, you still going to put in a position because you want justice to be said.
Yeah, I will still do that because I took an oath. So I took that oath, and I will do that because I took an oath.
When they will choke you around, you still take the oath.
I took an oath that I'm going to adjudicate every case according to how it is, regardless of my life. I took an oath.
Not cutting you off to throw black on that. I think they were in court again today, and I think one of the representatives said that the judge made a comment today. The judge made a comment today and said that the report is going to come up on Monday morning. And what happened is that it's not about his life. It's not about his family, his house. It's about the people of Liberia and Liberia. And this was quoted from Representative, how do you call his name? Your representative who always talking and cussing your president. Yeke Koluba said today that they were in court, and the judge said the report's going to come up on Monday before the State of the Nation address, and right now it's not concerning his life. And Yeke Koluba did say that the judge said that his life has been threatened. He has been getting a lot of telephone calls and things and text messages, but he will speak on this situation on Monday. And so we're all waiting to see what he will say before the State of the Nation address. So continue. So I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, so my question though, in short, what I'm just telling you, though the court has spoken, I'm not authorized to speak because that's why they say the Supreme Court, the Constitution gave right to the Supreme Court to be the final arbiter. Anything the court say, that is. So, and the people that are on our bench, on our level, that level they reach, that then the people are like, hey, sometimes I say, we don't see going. These justices are the one, when they make decision, people go to jail. They make decision, people come from jail. They make decision, you lost your property. They make decision, you gain property. You understand? So they are our bosses. Anything they say, we ourselves, that the same thing we say, we get one voice. They already speak, they have spoken. So the same thing they say, that I have said too.
So what did they say? Because there are two interpretations.
They say
non-virus.
They say the people, look, listen. And are two people who are talking. When husband and wife in the home get problem, if you can't go in your room, you solve the problem, you must go carry to the Pope and see whether the Pope will solve it for you. So they say, come back, go back, you know, and return to you. So you go back. So if you say you used to put a dish on the table and you used to put it in the dining room table, you put it in the kitchen. So okay, you know what I mean? I want to understand each other. From now on, I'll be putting the dish on the dining room table, not in the kitchen again. That understand it. So they say they must go back in that.
George, they said go back where now? They said go back, and those two people came from two separate areas now. So go back where? It's still not clear.
And I see
one group came from another era, another group came from another era. So if they
where they were working
go back where?
Group. And I see people are working together, and they all working in the same hall, and they decide to divide and say they will go back. They will go back there.
Go back where? Councilor
Zuba. My concern here right now is that the judge just said go back, and nothing was, and that led to the burning of the Capitol building, the House. And I said now.
And now what leading to the executive be investigating too.
So is any executive have been investigated? I think everybody that have been called so far just happened from the minority bloc.
I don't know about that one. Like you telling me that I said.
All right, because all the other names that came up on the police websites, everybody from the minority black, no one has been called from the majority black so far, and everybody who have been indicted has been called from the minority.
You the first person I hear nothing from. I know before.
So can you give me one of the names that have been called to be investigated from the majority black?
You telling me that, and you the one gave me the information. If you give me one side, I'll be happy because I don't know the people there. If you ask me now who the chief justice, I know like chief justice, I know. Who know my people? I know my people that.
So has anybody been called from the security force to be investigated?
Did you follow Prince Johnson funeral?
I did follow Prince Johnson funeral, and your government has laid out two people because they spoke at Prince Johnson funeral.
No, not speaking. They say when you speak, you must be responsible for what you say.
Well, that's another topic for another day because they went to a funeral. They were not representing the government. They went to a funeral. So
when you're speaking, you must speak for your children and all. Because when you don't know how to speak, your children will be hungry.
All right, guys. So before you get the last statement, there are two things that one serious thing I want to bring up. And I think it will do you justice if you can clear your side and you can speak of this. There was a post that came up on your name on April 17, 2024, and the post came up by one William N. Tokpa. He did two posts on your name. The first post he gave on your name, I don't know if you know Tokpa personally, but the first post he gave on your name, it says that, let me see if I can put that post up. It said Monrovia traffic court judge KARSOR has been accused of illegally selling a vehicle belonging to an American, Lucas Riches. I think this will only give you, because anybody Google your name on Google, that's the first thing that comes up about you. So I think it will give the public a clear benefit, and you will clear your name of this situation of that. What do you make of this story that is made headline on Google on your name, and how can you justify? I mean, how can you clear this story for us, for our listeners?
Okay. So Lucas Riches were accused of attempting to murder Jessica Lloyd. You understand it, right?
Yes, sir.
So the matter was before criminal could be. The judge presiding on that matter was Judge Cheney, Nelson Cheney.
Uh-huh.
Then the police, every year, the police, or every 6 months to a year, after every 6 months, the police do write the code, the Montreal traffic code, on abandoned vehicle, overstay vehicle that are to police station for clearing. And it is only the courts that got authority to clear, to auction this thing with the power invested into the code, in the code, not me, in the code.
Right.
So as a judge presiding over that code, the communication came from the police saying that they needed to dispose of some vehicle scrap to the police station. So the vehicle in question happened to be one of the vehicles that still belong to the police station. But then the police only brought the list, and then we make the necessary announcement that the vehicle want to be auctioned. So the vehicle was to be auctioned on today. The next day, the court came down with final ruling. But I was sitting here as a judge between you and I and God. I didn't know that that vehicle was in question that was linked to the defendant.
Okay.
So the vehicle was auctioned. When the vehicle was auctioned, then the party, the lawyers representing the government, carried to another judge on summary. That is, they say after ultra-virus, because ultra-virus because
It's a new word, ultra-virus.
it's an old word. It be you that we frequently use it. You remember when Amos Sawyer talk about disarmament and demobilization will be done concomitantly. They both say the best people. They were in the book. It doesn't matter concomitantly. So what are we talking? They say it must be done together. You know, you can't be disarming. You be leaving the people. You disarm, you must be demobilization. You must be demobilized at the same time. He said it must be used
concomitantly. I've heard that word for a long time, so they said our new word.
Yes. So they said our new word concomitant. So they kept my complaint to another judge. So when the judge called me, because if you ask outside your scope, it's outside anything you do outside the scope of your word is ultra-viral. But me, my own, I can tell people I get different ways to coin it. You got to get non-fishing and malfishing. If you have a duty to perform, you don't perform that duty that you know. But all of them, they're synonymous with one another. So that judge called me and I went. So I told the judge, I said, well, I didn't know that they called in question. But the man who brought my complaint, that is still me prosecuting that man. Why would he bring my complaint? I think the man who defending for that man should be the one asking for the car. So the judge said, okay, go to your court. I was saying mandate. Mandate is, I was saying instruction. I went inside on my court. The judge sent me communication and said the vehicle that was to that court, retrieve the vehicle and get the vehicle back. And that was done. So the bidder, the higher bidder, was saying, look, there was a controversial issue, misinformation and disinformation. So this particular vehicle, you want to bid, but we have to get a vehicle back. And we got the vehicle back, posted the vehicle, and I said I will turn the vehicle over to the rep person as I was instructed to do, who is the owner of the car. So that vehicle was not even for local riches. It was for indigenous group. Local riches came to the country to work as a member to a partner, a Liberian partner. They were running an NGO. So the NGO vehicle was what they assigned to him. So the vehicle was for NGO and not local riches. So that vehicle, the defendant lawyer the prosecutor, that prosecuted the case in person 1 yimpan Yipan, Councillor Yipan, after prosecuting the man, he didn't find the man guilty. He wanted to take the man vehicle. So
wow.
that's the story.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the story. But when the
All
press spoke it to me, I told them, I'm not going to comment. They just be carrying that story.
Yeah.
If without seeing picture again, I came back to the country. I talked about Samsung phone, iPhone, and thing. I said they get a fan phone, they send the phone. They came me 1 week out in the newspaper.
I just not cut you off, Councillor. I just posted that again, and that one you're talking about. It was done in July 3rd. It was done in July. It was done by the same. Willie, do you actually know Mr. Tokpa in person?
I know Mr. Tokpa. Tokpa worked for Front Page Africa. Let me tell you what can happen. If the newspaper carry a story that Rufus is a journalist sitting over there, you know. If they carry the story, they'll come to you and say, if you can't get them money to kill the story, they'll be carrying the story. So I say, but you carry the story. The story will kill itself. You understand? He know Rufus know what I'm talking about.
No. Don't tell me Rufus that because I was suspending right away. Rufus cannot take money from anybody.
No, you know what I'm talking about. The story, if they bring the story about you, and they tell you, say, that's why even in your conduct, you got to be very careful. And for me, so long as I do anything wrong, like McCarthy say, when you hear the ruling, you go and make judgment, they say, McCarthy made that judgment, will call your head, you say, go make the judgment. Me, when I went make the judgment, they say, they'll call my head, I will not make the judgment, because I want my head to be caught. So, well, I know, I didn't take oath.
They're not taking
I'm on an oath. Hello, I'm on an oath to protect and defend.
I think, Councillor, it would just do you. I'm just did this to do you justice to clear out.
No, that was fair because that was fair.
Because a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people are running with this story.
I still want to ask a question, Ernest. I want to ask you a question before you leave. I know he's about to go, but I need to ask you a question. Councillor Ernest, can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
George ZUBAH, let me ask you this question first. Does the traffic court have marketing and communication or commercial department?
No. What the court have is when you petition the court.
Yeah. When
you petition the court, meaning you request, you pray for the court to do this thing for you.
Okay. All right.
The court will, in order, the court is very careful in doing things.
All right.
The court will do publication in the paper.
All right.
When they do the publication, they do announcement.
Okay. All right. So then my question is, I understand that you have to do announcement, you have to go through the local dailies and things. You have to follow the procedures. I know that it's the same as when you're changing your name and XYZ, you have to go to the court for all of those processes.
And they say, go publish
the question I want to ask again is, did you post about the sale of the car? Did you post on your social media handle, any of your social media handles, what a WhatsApp, what a Messenger, what a Facebook, what a Instagram, what a Twitter? Did you post personally as a judge?
Yes. Yes.
Are you aware of kind of 6 of the judicial? Are you aware of that?
They say we shouldn't do business.
Yeah.
They're not business. Ocean, they're not business.
If you say you are selling a car and you post the car on your social media page that anybody won't say,
we're not saying we're selling with disposing of. We're not selling with disposing of car.
Yeah, but you didn't say dispose. You say for sale. If you say for sale, it means that you are selling.
No, we can't do for sale.
It's
no,
advertisement. When you advertise something, what do you advertise for? To market it, right? I'm a marketing. I'm a journalist and I'm a marketer. If you advertise something, it's for sale. It's for marketing purpose.
No, not for sale. Advertisement not for only sale. That before inside the asking.
Okay, so but that particular one for sale, for disposal, and you say everybody wants to say they should contact you. What they contact you? The contact you were talking about is say for you to get them free or for no bar.
No, the announcement is go.
Yeah.
Or do having property to that place, go and take your property from there. If you fail to take care, it will be disposed of. So
No,
when
but
you go, you redeem your property.
Nipan's accusation was that you posted that the car is for sale. It's not like you calling people's attention
Don't mind
that they should go for the car. His point.
I went for it. I won the mail already, but you can't say that you can't be saying you win your friend now. It out true. The law says if I add ultra-virus, if I do any cost, any ask against my job, I will not have job. So I'm very careful.
So I think this was just a fair, to me, it was just fair to give the council the chance to be able
it was very good.
Let it air on this because people have been running with this story in a negative way. Even when I posted his picture that he was going to be one of our guests on the show, and someone,
and the people start calling.
Yeah, someone sent me a message. Oh, that man going to be on your show who has a problem. I said, no, I'm not sure he has any problem. And I said it would be an opportunity for you to come on the show and also clear his name. Those are the people we need on the show to come and be able to clear the name. So on these two cases, were there any disciplinary action taken against you, any suspension, anything that was interrogating based upon the two cases that were posted?
There was no wrong. Let me just say something. In accident, let me just talk about accident. When you know you will leave your house today and you will make accident, will you sit behind your car to go drive? Any answer that no, right?
That's correct.
Okay. In crimes, there must be criminal mind and there must be criminal acts. And so long there is no combination of the two, there is no crime. So in short, I never violated anything.
No, my question was, was there any action taken against you out of by your bosses, by the judge, by the police, anything?
There was nothing. I didn't do anything wrong. So there was no action taken against me.
All right, thank you.
But if action wasn't taken against the councilor, it doesn't mean he didn't do anything wrong. Apparently, those who supposed to take the action, they didn't just take the action. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Sometimes people do wrong and they walk
Morris, excuse me, councilor. Morris, we cannot determine whether he did wrong or did not do wrong. I just wanted to clear the air, and if his bosses felt he did wrong and he was not penalized and left with them, I cannot determine what went wrong or what it did not go wrong. I just
CEO, I understand what you're saying. I'm not determining that he was wrong, but I'm saying if he can say that he wasn't suspended or he wasn't punished, so it means he wasn't wrong. That doesn't
my question to him was, did you do wrong? No. My question was there any punishment, anything resulting after your actions? So I was not concerned whether he did right or did wrong. So my question was,
but in fact, who determined right or wrong?
Oh well, I think maybe the court in such proceeding. So but anyway, before we have any other, McCarty and Rufus, we got to close this program. Do you have any final word or anything for the judge before I will have the judge give his final statement, final word before we close? But anyone have any final word, any follow-up question, anything you want to clarify before we close?
For my own end, I must appreciate the judge, consider for the opportunity given us to quiz him on these issues, and I would love for him to take up the time to actually make the media his friend in terms of providing information, regular information to the public concerning his area of specialization, because in Liberia, they say ignorant to the law, there's no excuse. But from all indication, He's an educator, and our public needs education. So a timely um, involvement with the radio will enable our people to understand the various laws that governs the traffic, and they will adhere to these laws and regulations so that we have safety in our country. So, Councillor Zubah, thank you so much for coming on, and we look forward to having you as often as we can.
Thank you. Anytime, you are most welcome.
McCarthy, do you have anything before the council?
I mean,
he's our guest. I want to get the last word. I don't want to speak after him.
Just want to appreciate the councilor for taking your time on me, especially today, a Friday, where he should be resting, but at least to educate Liberians, to tell us what's going on. We want to appreciate.
In Liberia, we can rest on Friday. We can rest on Friday.
Oh, okay. All right. You guys are doing great. So thank you so much for coming, and we hope to see you another time again when we send you our invite. It was a pleasure having you on our show, and we just hope that we can have that cordiality as always, because you are public servants, you will always be needed. Anytime we pick up our phones and call you, just at least can get over and let's just have some conversations. Thank you so much, Chief.
Thank you very much, Morris.
Thank you, folks. What I want to say to us is that thank you, folks, for joining us. I want to thank Councilor ZUBAH, the Monitor Traffic Court Judge, for joining us in this time of our almost 2 hours of discussing safety, traffic safety in the Republic of Liberia. This is very, very much serious to our people. People are being killed, accidents are happening here and there. So we just want to provide this education to our people and to just take the brains of people who have the experience and the expertise in this thing. I believe the government will have to do more. I believe the court itself, where the councilor works, will have to do more to connect with the community. Public safety is important to educate our people, the drivers as well. I don't expect the councilor to sit just in court and wait for cases to come. I believe, I think Rufus said that engaging the media and the public is going to be well. I will extend this invitation to you, Councilor ZUBAH. If you can, make all your friends as well. You are welcome anytime if you want us to discuss issues that are very much important from your office into the group. We have people that are trying that listen to us all around the world, including, in fact, we have people watching us from Nigeria as well. So we're providing not just Liberia, we're providing education to people here in the United States of America and people in other parts of the world. So make us your friend. You are welcome at any time to come. But I believe that education and safety is so much important. Cars have been overloaded with not just human beings, but goods and a lot of things on top. And it is so much danger into the government has a whole much lot to do for that. And so, Mr. Councilor, with that being said, again, thank you for clarifying those two incidences that were posted on your name. It gave me the breath of air to know that our hearers and listeners and followers have understood the side of your story, because no one had the time to call you personally. I would just want to give you this time to give us, your departing or final statement, and then we love to hear from you again.
Thank you very much, CEO. And let me just give the last education before I can close. In America, when the police pull you over, you sit behind your vehicle until the police walk to you and ask you for your particulars. In Liberia, when the police pull you over, the police go and stand on the other side, and you expect you to get out for your vehicle to walk to him. So we in Liberia, we used to that. And somehow who can travel and go to America, we can sit down in the car and the police walk to us. But in the event where you came from America, you came to Liberia for vacation, and the police pull you over, and the police say, "My man can't," and then say the police must come to you, you'll be wasting your time. Because the communication gap is right there, because you're coming from a society that requires that you must sit behind your steering, and the police come to you. You come in the society that require that when the police pull you over, you must get down from your vehicle and walk to the police officer. With that said, I want to say thank you for this program, and I tell you thank you to all the panelists, for inviting me. And I think this one opportunity I have ever to make clarity on some of the issues that were raised, especially the issue of the car that I sold and the issue of the newspaper story. And guess what? The individual that wrote the car story is the same person that wrote that other story. So sometimes you don't want to go beyond some of these things, but talking about press friendly at the level of the judiciary, I got friends who are journalists and even big people, well-known people. In fact, the late Philip we said was my friend. We went to law school together. I know when you don't do something wrong, you will not be scared. The only people that can be scared are people who did wrong thing. And when you do the right thing, you can go to bed and feel free. These people, they have written before, they will write, and they will still write what they want to write, and nobody going to stop them. It depends. It depends whether what they're writing is the right thing or the wrong thing. Thank you, CEO, and you can call on me anytime. In Amwesha Makati, when you come to LIBERIA next time, you better call me. Today is Friday. TGIF, no bad day in this country.
I know.
That took us 2 hours of the enjoyment, and we have
the CEO and myself can they may buy ticket for us.
And we are here. I'm in Matadi Estate, where security is 100%. You can get out anytime and go and come back home. You guys are welcome. And when you think about coming, you please let me know so I can tell you that Friday I want the best.
In a Matadi area, so I'm looking for one apartment there.
We'll connect with you because Rufus is looking for a place, and at the same time, we're also trying to get a good location to open our studio as well. We're trying to put up a radio station as well, not just online. And so we want to start from Brenton. So if you know anywhere, Councilor ZUBAH that is as well situated where Rufus can be safe to travel to. We would like
I got hands on something already. I got hands on something already. So
oh my God, Rufus, I will connect. Kasa, I will call you right after the show because that's serious thing. We're trying to. We've been looking for.
I got hands on something already. As you go to the place, Nana. I got authority. I may not have control of that person, but I get authority to tell the person XYZ, and they got my ears.
Rufus. Not got the Rufus. You gotta contact I will give you the councilor's number. You can contact him. You can go and see the place if it's safe, so we can, want to put up a studio. We got everything. We just want to have a physical location that is safe for you. So we'll talk about that today. But Councilor ZUBAH, we're going to talk this one behind the scene. We still live. I want to say thank you so much for coming. And if you have time on Monday, I want to personally invite you. We don't have any lawyer to come with us on Monday after the President's State of the Union address. We'll be discussing important points. If you mind, we can invite you again to come and be one of our hosts. One of our guests that we can host you in being able just to discuss the important points. You may not be able to
you see,
to address everything, but we just need some legal minds.
I want you to go far.
And wait, 1 minute, council. 1 minute, Ernest. You should know, Ernest. You should know this man is in the government. He's a judge for the Monrovia Traffic Court.
I'm just explaining my invitation.
We need an independent person who's going to look at it from all perspectives. He can be in that same vehicle and come and say anything.
Makare, this is my point. If we have the counselor from the government, he's not going to talk on behalf of the government. He's not a government spokesman. But if we have him, and we have one other person who's not part of the government, then it's going to be balanced. So
He's
that's
going
what
to talk for the government, right? He's going to be on the side of the government, right?
Speak on behalf of the government.
Oh,
listen.
okay. Yeah, that's great.
McCarthy just quoted Kano. You know, we're working as a lawyer and as a judge. I got a judicial Kano on my right hand side, and I got a code of conduct of lawyer on my right hand side. So I'm walking in between. So they are like a ray guiding me. My job.
But let me ask you a question. But why are we trying to judge the State of the Union address when I'm not being addressed? Maybe the president may say some good things that we can discuss, and the councilor can come and talk about the
always
good things.
say good things. Anything the president says they are good things.
So why are we doubting
anything the president says that good thing? President don't say bad thing. That means the president. They made you all the see now what they talking about the judicial scandal 6. You know the scandal that say that Georgia not supposed to do business. They got another scandal that say Georgia not supposed to talk politics. And so now you can't do analysis, you put your muscle. The law say I'm a year cases and a year cases. The law say if I'm asked to give education, I can educate. But whether the government, I don't know whether how far I concern the government working. The day the government are working, I resign from the government.
All right, Councilor ZUBAH, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
The
Thank you
discussion
very much.
we know, but yeah, we knew that the president will say some good things, and all we want to do is to analyze this, the State of the Union address, and then we can be able to have something to hold, our government accountable for when they say some things. I know that that would be good. So with that being said, it was a good show. We want to thank all our viewers and listeners. I'm going to turn it over to Rufus. Thank you so much, Councilor, and we'd love to have you again. You can come anytime. Just text us, call us, and even though we don't have anything scheduled, just call us, say I want to come on, and we'll make something available for you. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
We'll contact you for that place you say you have something your hand over, so we can have a place where Rufus can be able to do a good work and be able to sleep when it's late.
Okay.
We are the Beacon of Hope, the fountain of professional broadcasting. Of course, it was a wonderful time with Councilor ZUBAH on one-on-one with the CEO, Ambassador Ernest Gibson. The invitation is yours to join us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays so that we talk the talk as we walk the walk. My name is Rufus Devon Cannon. Maurice McCarthy was here. Ambassador Ernest Gibson was here, and we play host to Councilor KARSOR ZUBAH, Monrovia Traffic Code Judge. It was wonderful, and let's keep following. Have yourselves a wonderful and pleasant good night from our end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
You are tuned in live. It's the show you just can't miss. One-on-one with Ernest Gibson, CEO of HeartView News Network, bringing you the truth, independent and balanced analysis. We are proud to be the voice of the voiceless. HeartView News Network, where news is our game. Accurate coverage. We are rising to the theme. Live discussion on issues that matters to you. Community engagement. We are breaking right through. One-on-one with the CEO, Ernest Gibson. So mark your calendar. Don't let the time slip away. Every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Join us today one-on-one with the CEO, dynamic and bright. Stay informed with HeartView News, your guiding light.